Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Maha Hilal, and I'm the co-director of Justice for Muslims Collective and a resident of Crystal City. Justice for Muslims Collective is an organization that works to challenge institutional and structural Islamophobia. Like many others in this room, I'm part of a broad coalition that's called For Us, Not Amazon, which has been pushing for transparency and oversight in the process of Amazon expanding its operations into the DMV. And like many other organizations in this room, we found it imperative to be present today to register our anger that rather than representing the people of Virginia, and of Arlington in particular, many with decision-making power have chosen to become de facto representatives of Amazon. Perhaps many of you in this room have heard all there is to say about the detrimental impacts of Amazon expanding its operations into the DMV, not limited to, but including exponential increases in rent, displacement, and unremedied unemployment rates, despite what Amazon claims. All of these things will indelibly and greatly impact the Muslim community and will compound the impact of Amazon's deep collusion with ICE and other law enforcement agencies. And after 17 plus years of being targeted as Muslims in the global war on terror, it is frightening that this will be exacerbated upon Amazon's expansion into a region with many of the institutions that have inflicted state violence on the Muslim community. According to a report released by the Open the Government last week, about Amazon's collusion with the government, police are not only using facial recognition software developed by Amazon, the FBI is now piloting it as well. And while some may push back in this moment because they want to believe that the FBI will address the threat of white extremists, this A, won't happen, and B, will do nothing to minimize or erase the ways in which the FBI has ripped apart the Muslim community post 9/11, including many local mosques, many that your constituents attend. But this is not where Amazon's facial recognition software ends. It's in fact being used by the DHS to support border security that is based on the manufacturing of crisis and the lack of recognizing US intervention and militarism in countries across the globe. If this wasn't enough, the same Open the Government report indicates that soon, this software may enable the DoD to conduct lethal operations. And we know this will only impact people of color based on the DoD's racist and Islamophobic infrastructure. Many of you in this room can choose to treat this information as an inconvenient casualty of what you otherwise perceive to be a beneficial deal with Amazon. But you should know that we are outraged that these decisions continue to be made on the backs of people of color, many who are low income, and many who will run an even greater risk of facing significant rent increases due to gentrification, being forcibly displaced, forced to shut down or relocate local businesses, all while being profiled, targeted, and deported by a racist national security infrastructure. Now that you know the consequences, we will hold you personally accountable for the harm that befalls our communities. However you vote, we will be here every step of the way to make sure our communities are not criminalized and thrown under the bus. To conclude, I want to end with a quote by a Black, queer, disabled feminist named Audre Lorde, who wrote that silence has never brought us anything of worth. So we are prepared to raise our voices, to demand our rights, and to reject the negotiation of our humanity in capitalistic terms. The choice is yours. You can vote against the incentive package, or you can vote in favor of it. But if you vote in favor of it, we'll throw away your resolution welcoming immigrants in the trash on the way out. The choice is yours.